I'm Nicole King, and this is Marbella Now.
And as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, hey, hey.
Joining me once again in the studio is Ben Hayden of LIT, Lit Electricians. Lovely to see you again, Ben.
Yeah, great to see you as well.
You did a really great job last time. Made electricity interesting.
Oh, great.
So thank you so much for coming back once again.
No problem. Fantastic.
But it's funny because anything that you understand, I think, becomes a passion, no? Because you understand electricity, how it works, how to use it,
Yeah.
how not to use it.
Correct. Yeah.
And today I believe you're going to talk to us about electricity and energy in cars.
Yeah, correct. About the shift of the energy of how, we're changing from the fossil fuels into solar and renewable energy, and then more specifically on the cars and the transport, of how the cars now, they're being designed to work with our houses, so be able to store the energy. Obviously batteries are in cars to be able to provide the power to the motors to make them work. When now we have the petrol engines, the diesel engines, which in Spain are going to be phased out by, I believe it's 2040. So brand new cars that are diesel and petrol will be no more. So this whole shift in the electric needs to change, and how we manage our houses, how we plan our, to build our new houses, so we can adapt, so that we can have electric vehicles and use the technology that's coming out to be able to, run everything efficiently.
I'm finding it very hard to think that the petrol companies that can be on board with this imminent elimination of 2/3 probably of their sales.
Definitely. I think there's some big changes going to happen over the next 20 years. I mean, we're seeing it now. No one can predict anything that's going to go on over the next 20 years. But I think if the world's going to sustain healthy, we're going to keep ourselves healthy. I mean, the emissions that the cars let off now in busy areas, you look at London with the low emission zones, this is going to happen in Barcelona and Madrid, where they're going to have the same as in London, charge you a fortune for driving down the road in a diesel or a petrol car that's not fuel efficient. So I don't really, when it's coming over to here, coming over to Spain, it's being more publicised that we need to cut back on fossil fuels and and all the emissions we're giving off, and go to the solar energy, the batteries in the cars.
Yeah, because it's not even just the air that we breathe, it's the ground underneath our feet. I know I've interviewed quite a few ex-bosses of big petrol companies, and as ex-bosses, one of them actually admitted on camera, when I asked him, well, when you take out all that petrol from the earth, what do you put back in to replace it, because nature pours a vacuum? And he just looked at me and said, nothing. And I said, well, isn't that terrible? And he looked at me and said, yes, it is.
Yeah.
And it was as black and white as that when it came to it, when now he's not being paid by them.
I think it's the consciousness now. People are starting to really realise, they're seeing the impact. Look in Germany last week, with the big floods that have happened over there. Things are changing, so we all need to look at what we're doing, how we're doing it, and progress.
So the future is, I mean, we've seen now on shows that people have electric cars, that they work with automatically connected to a central base where they can lock and unlock the car. It looks like it's changing in many aspects.
Yeah, well, I mean, the way we use a car, I think it's going to be changing a lot, and the way that we transport is going to be changed a lot. I'm not an expert in that side of things, but I know that how we're going to power our cars is going to change. The problem is the technology in the batteries is storing the power. When, if you look at what Tesla are doing with the nanotechnology, they're creating batteries that are this size now, that were this size, a few years ago, to that are coming really, really small. And once we can get the size of the storage down, that's when the market will really take off.
As you also install solar energy and you obviously promote that cleaner energy, this is obviously very important for you to take into consideration now, so that everything you have is ready for what's to come.
Definitely. With a house, especially if you build a new house or buying a new house, you need to be looking at, how you're going to power your car in the future. Say, at the minute, it is all, you take your electric from the sockets and then plug it into your car, in theory, and that's how it works. Well, what that does is put more stress onto the energy grid, which causes more faults, more problems. So there'll be a cut-off period then when they'll start to say you have to generate your own electric for your own car. So it's just making sure that at a certain point of time you're not hit and, you know, left in the past and thinking, oh, I should have done X, Y and Z. You know, we need to make sure that we understand over the next few years what's going to go on and how we can protect ourselves and adapt to it, so we're ready for any changes that the government, you know, put in place.
I know a lot of people, including myself, who would be very willing to change to solar panels and alternative energy, but the price of installation is off-putting. Do you see in a near future that this is going to change in view of everything to come?
Definitely. I mean, we're always looking at it now as it is an investment, you know, working out that we design it efficiently for your property, make sure that everything's taken into consideration so you're not sold. There's a lot of salesmen out here, you know, these pop-up companies that come from, you know, different sorts of backgrounds that don't understand the actual product that they're selling and what the client needs. When you need to use someone reputable, obviously like us, we'll, you know, sit down and talk to you about it, you know, about anything to do with electric. So yeah, it's interesting.
When you have your own home, obviously it's easy, you do your quotes, but when you live in an apartment building, either I suppose the whole urbanization needs to get involved.
Definitely.
Is it like, can't it be like in the satellite dish that you can have your own little satellite dish on your balcony, can't your own little panel?
Well, yeah, you can do, but at the minute the problem is that some urbanisations don't want it because they're seeing it as an eyesore. But we have ways and means of being able to speak to them, speak to the town hall and get things put in place that they're going to have to adapt to it. You know, it is something that I will push till, you know, till the cows go home.
So that is possible, it's just got to get it through the mentality.
I've just got to get through everyone, go through, you know, see certain people, go through certain meetings to make sure that the message we're bringing is clean energy and it's coming. So, you know, we need to work a way to make sure that everyone's on board in it. It isn't a choice, you know, we all have to get on board.
Well, it's absolutely fascinating.
Brilliant.
In the sense of seeing it, it's also, you know, like the Jetsons.
Yeah.
That life is just changing to be science fiction.
It is, yeah.
But it's just
it's a mad world.
Fact.
Yeah, and that's why I mean keeping up to date with things to make sure that we're not left in the past. I do think that, you know, I look at my grandparents and think how they was sort of felt, I think, a bit left in the dark as they got older. And that's what we've got to watch out, I think, with people and generations, that we're not just steaming ahead and people don't have a clue about what's going on.
Are you I know you like your subject. Are you willing, if someone just wants to bring you up for a chat, to give them some guidance, just general, you know, the main points to take into consideration?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I always say to people, if you're out and about, give me a shout. You know, I can always willing to have a cup of coffee and a good chat about, you know, the best way forward or situations they might be in, whether it be with Endesa, other energy providers. You know, I can normally find a solution to help them.
You're awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Ben Hayden, didn't he do well?
Thank you.
If you want to get more information, please do contact Ben directly. We're going over now to a short break. Some messages from our sponsor, Linear Director, with great extra things for us with a NIE in the province of Malaga, including free taxi up to 4 times a month if you've been drinking. Do check out our Zero Hero website too for free soft drinks for the designated driver in participating venues. Back in a moment, don't go away.
Sometimes it's nice to just get lost in the moment without a care in the world.
However, if something does come up and you find you're actually lost, it's also nice to know that you can call Linear Director to come and find you. Call Linear Director on 952 14 78 34 to see how they can better your life too.
Alright guys, so I'm the designated driver tonight, so I'm going to choose the Zero Hero place. So all of my soft drinks are for free. And if you want to go somewhere else, just check out the Facebook, Instagram or the zerohero.es website for any of the bars, discotheques or restaurants on there. I'm happy to go anywhere you want to go, as long as it's Zero Hero.
Zero Hero, welcome here at the Gaucho de Banús.
Let the music get to your heart. Let it set you on your way. No time to hesitate.
Welcome to Lemongrass, Doña Lola. Thank you very much.
Tearing us apart. Poison arrows shoot straight to your heart. We can change it.
Zero Hero Welcome to Portofino, Cabo Pino.
Hi guys, Kazatua is proud to welcome the Zero Heroes. So come on in and enjoy free soft drinks for anyone who is the designated driver. Thank you, Nicole.
Everyone that comes and wants to join our Zero Hero Association, they will have free non-alcoholic drinks at our venue at any time.
Hi guys, Ross here from Hogan Stand. Proud to be a member of the Zero Hero campaign. And we recommend everybody. Nobody drives drinking. Everybody who drives a car doesn't have any alcohol in their system, and we're proud to sponsor the Zero Hero program.
Tearing us apart, brothers, sisters, one beating heart. We can change.
GY is happy to be Zero Hero partner.
How cool is that? GY.
Glad
okay.
and are proud to present Zero the Hero. Never drink and drive.
McNulty's is proud to be a Zero Hero partner.
So here we are at Everest. Very cool.
Yeah.
And stickers going up.
Hiya, my name is Govinda. I'm from Everest. Welcome to Zero Hero, to Everest Fusion, to enjoy your cocktails, drinks, and happy hour as well. And food, of course, is delicious. Thank you.
Welcome to Sister Taperia.
Welcome back to the second part of the programme. Joining me now is Clarice Williams. I've never met her before. The introduction comes thanks to Ali Meehan, founder and president of Costa Women. So I'm very much looking forward to knowing more about you. Clarice, welcome to the programme.
Oh, thank you, Nicole, and thank you for everyone for the interview. I'm so excited.
You, just a few seconds I've been chatting with you. You're a woman of many trades. You're doing a little bit of everything.
I always joke I'm a jack of all trades but a mistress of none. I'm an opera singer by trade, actually. I started in opera when I was professionally when I was 16 years of age, while still at high school.
A real professional opera singer.
Yes, my background is Sydney Opera House. I was an extra chorister for 5 years for Opera Australia. In my early 20s. I can always say I peaked too soon, but I've had a wonderful career in terms of it's taken me places and it's given me lots of experiences. So I sang professionally from the age of 16 in New Zealand. I worked for 5 years for Opera Australia in Sydney, and I had my home in Brisbane. And then for 12 years I lived in London, and I toured throughout the UK for Opera Box in Wales. I worked for 3 London boroughs as an itinerant singing teacher. I started in the Adult Learners with Difficulties and Disabilities department, as it was known then, at the London Borough of Hillingdon. I teach privately. I sell Avon in Spain. It's my COVID side hustle because performing arts sadly got really hit last year, and I lost 6 weeks of opera touring, which was southeast of England. So, and this year I wasn't even invited back just because the situation over there is much different to here.
Actually, very dramatic.
Oh,
when
it was sudden.
You, like many other people, you found your profession has just been over and done with.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I called 2020 the year of everything getting cancelled. So I actually stopped after a while getting excited about something. That was the worst thing. And when you're a performer, when you're creative, you need that creative drive. You need that goal, that something happening around the corner that is going to for the work to spur you on, you know, to do the practice, and especially with classical, whether it's ballet or music or vocal, you have to train hard because it's very, very easy to get rusty and sloppy. I've got a friend who works at the Opera House in Turin in Italy. She's also a chorister there. and we're thinking of doing a project here in possibly Marbella, but definitely in Estepona. We're doing the Puccini one-act opera Suor Angelica, probably October, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And she sent me a message and she said, look, I've just opened my throat up on some of the Angelica, and she said, I'm so rusty. And she's available in October because the Opera House there, normally autumn season, they are preparing. But this year they've decided to hold off. So it's still very, very interesting in the performing arts how it's going to go. I'm very positive. I'm ever the optimist. I do believe it's going to be better and that 2022 will be completely different. But at the moment, it's sort of, I'm cautiously excited about stuff. I do have some things in the pipeline which I'm very excited about. So.
Well, I'd love to hear you sing. I mean, I was like, can you just like burst into song now? Where can...
I'll try. L'amore d'Amazone bella che n'apprivoisi. If you want to see the rest, Opera Cadets does Carmen and I sing Carmen.
That is fabulous. Oh, wonderful. I mean, it's just such a lovely thing to do for a living, to sing. The passion that one can transmit. Do you find that the audiences are growing with you, that in the sense that youngsters are getting involved?
I think we've changed a lot from even when I started singing at the, say, Sydney Opera House. It's become a lot less elitist, which for me is a wonderful thing because my background was not, my mother played Chopin on Sundays on the piano at home. I was brought up on bands like ABBA, Tom Jones, Rolling Stones, Beat Generation. My parents were all 50s and 60s kids, you know, it's Elvis. So classical music with my singing teacher, when I started having lessons formally at 10, which is very young, but I had a fabulous teacher that could really nurture young voices, and that's a tricky thing to do. There's a lot of people out there that teach young singers, but they don't know how to work with the voice, the developing young child's voice, because of obviously the different stages of puberty, etc. And she guided me through that till I was 17 years of age, and then she moved me on to another set of teachers that could work with the developing young adult's voice, and it's a wonderful journey. But I've just gotten sidetracked because you said the word passion and I got excited.
I was so excited. We're talking about whether the younger generation get involved.
Exactly. Okay, it has become less elitist. But one of my little pet projects, and I did a bit of it in Australia, and I did quite a lot of it in the UK, is opera and education, which I think is vastly important. Now, I had my first real taste of opera was in New Zealand with Canterbury Opera. I was 14 years of age, and it was their first ever production of Mozart's Magic Flute in English with orchestra. They did a dress rehearsal, and I think it was a couple of dollars, and we were allowed, the school was allowed from the music department to send children, young teens, young youths to go see the opera. Now that really got me. From someone who never had that background. I didn't know Mozart from a box of apples, so it didn't mean anything. It was just a new experience for me. I was singing, of course. I was singing, but as soon as I heard it, it didn't go in here. It went in here. And I think when you're young and you're not influenced by pop culture, which I was as a youth, I never was influenced by pop culture. Especially my development as a singer. My teacher was, you know, I did a bit of everything. And she actually said to my parents around the age of 14, I think it's good that she goes and sees this opera because I think I hear an opera quality in the voice. I'm not saying she's an opera singer now, but I think she's going to go beyond singing in school bands. I don't think that's her voice. And comes 15, I auditioned for Carmen. She gave me the habanera aria, so I have a long association with the Carmen arias. And I auditioned, and they offered me 3 covers. I covered Carmen, Mercedes, Frasquita, so her friends, in English. I was surrounded by adults that were about 15 years older, 15, 20 years older. They were semi-professionals, which is the category I class myself as in opera. We have a part-time job, and then we go do our pro gigs here, there, and wherever. And it was an amazing experience, absolutely amazing. Elric Hooper, who was the director of the Zeffirelli opera, director of the film opera of, Othello. So he was our director in New Zealand. I mean, this is For a 16-year-old, this is an amazing experience.
Magnificent. And look where it's got you. It's got you to performing in Estebona, definitely in October.
Yeah,
Marbella, maybe. Avon, undeniably.
Wearing it today.
And looking amazing. Clara, it's lovely to meet you. I know this is going to be the first of many times. Thank you so much for joining us on the programme.
Thank you so much for having me, Nicole.
My absolute pleasure. And if you would like to see, actually, Clarice again, join me at Anna Scott's fabulous makeover event that is coming up at La Scala. It's Wednesday 28th, so you've got to get your ticket immediately. It's going to be a wonderful lunchtime event. La Scala are Zero Hero partners, so it's nice always to support people who support the community, and it's going to be a very fun day. We'll be recording the last Marbella Now of the season as well, so get yourselves down there, and in the meanwhile, take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, and we'll be back here for more of what's going on in Marbella Now mañana. Hasta entonces. Bye for now.
So much trouble tearing us apart. Poison